Good evening, everyone. Hey, Andy, you made it. And she's off. Okay, now today we're welcoming everybody who has some form of homestead, whether it be an apartment, be or all the way to a big farm. You're welcome to come up tonight and talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods. Hey, PJ, glad to see you. I pinned the link if you want to come up and chat a bit. Hey, Papa Will. How you doing, Will? And Will, do you have a type of homestead of any sort or trying for self-sufficiency? I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, it has been a while. Do you have a homestead where you're either gardening or raising animals for food or anything like that? No, I'm not. Just store bought on the third floor, no pets. Oh, you poor thing. I'm on the second floor of an apartment building and I garden in green stalks and I raise animals for food. Congratulations, 8 baby bunnies born last night. So they're about 10 or 11 days younger than mine. Great, Dawn's got into a wheelchair. Hey, Val, good to see ya. Nope, nobody's going to keep you down. Dawn says, I only take so much of that, then I get back up and I get down and I get back up again. No one's going to keep me down. Hello, Uncle Al. Now at about 7:15, I'm going to start talking about some things that are really aggravating me and setting off all my warning signs. When the government tries to regulate what you're allowed to do. Hey, David, but that's at 7:15. Right now, we're just welcoming everybody in. Yep. That's our life, Val. You and I both. And Dawn. They knock us down, but we get up again. Ain't nobody gonna keep us down. Okay, Dawn, take your time. Well, be back. Make it a 10-minute shower, David, so you can catch what's going on. Because I think this is very important that other people talk about. Because when you let people take your rights away, they just keep taking and taking and taking. Well, David said he went in the shower and to shut everybody up. Oh. But I will tell this, I checked my bunnies and their eyes are still closed. They won't be 2 weeks old until Friday. So they're only 12 days old. And I got some beauties in there, but I won't know exactly all the beauties until I take them out and weigh each individual one. But I'm waiting until their eyes open up before I do that. Leave it to Nikki to come up with that. Read somewhere today that everyone should draw out some cash on the 2nd of April to make a point that the government can't stop cash. Is that in the British Isles? I haven't seen that yet. But I've already got my rent money ready. It was dollars. Oh, do you have a link for that, Val? If you got a link for that, send it to me on Facebook. The government won't know you withdrew your cash unless, of course, there is a run on the banks and the banks have to shut down like the Great Depression. Okay, Val, I got Facebook open so you can send me that link. Now you only have a few more days for Gedro's sale to be still good, where you get $5 off and free shipping on their website. You've got that much money in your bank? Cuz ah, I can't leave money like that in the bank. Oh boy. Okay, just a second. Oh, it says it's unsupported attachment. Thou, so it didn't work. Yeah, you may have to go to the link and share it that way. Okay, now I'm gonna share this with you guys, a part of this, so you can hear what he's saying, and then you got me upset.
Who have very small operations who aren't producing much poo or any type of runoff really, and making them come up to code with the large scale operations. I don't even think that this is necessarily something that's coming from the big dairy lobbyists, although, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. Tom Vilsack is a big dairy lobbyist. In fact, he ran the largest lobbying group for dairy farmers. Whether you liked it or not, you had to pay into this Got Milk campaign and all this stuff, which paid his salary. Now he's our Secretary of Agriculture, and you know, it was kind of an enslaving thing for a lot of dairy farmers. A lot of dairy farmers didn't like the fact that they were, you know, stuck in these programs, but they didn't have a choice, right? If they wanted to sell milk, there's so much regulation around it, and so they depended on people like Tom Vilsack. So it could be that the dairy, you know, this group that Tom Vilsack was president of came in and said, you know what, we want you to change the definition of a small farm to be included with CAFOs because we don't like the unfair competition. It's very unfair now because there's no way that these small farmers can possibly do what they're being asked to do and run a successful business. I mean, they can't afford that type of infrastructure input. But seeing that this is coming at two different fronts at the same time, so the market gardeners started getting shut down in the fall, the small dairy farmers, and the way that this law reads, it'll include eggs and chicken and hogs, dairy goats, whatever it is that you have on your property, you can get shut down under what they're stating is the law and the policy in the state of Oregon. And they started going after them at the beginning of the year. That's when you saw these lawsuits start coming in and saying, hey, this is unconstitutional, because it is. They're stopping people from growing food. And, a market gardener or a small dairy farmer, they're not really competing or taking any percentage of the larger farmers. I don't think that the larger farmers really care.
No, Ken,
But
we're
these
just
industry
starting.
groups, these lobbyists, these associations, they might care. The bigger problem is that the government, the people who are elected to the state of Oregon, they're the ones that want to enforce these policies. They're the ones that are going out and purposefully, meticulously shutting down not just 5 or 6 farms, but we're talking in one mailing over 25 market gardeners. And they basically said, look, here's how we do this. We hear complaints. We have, a hotline for neighbors to call in.
In other words, people that are just big enough to sell a little bit to their farmers market.
And say this person's growing a market garden, they're selling their vegetables to the public, and they're utilizing our water resources, tattletales is what I call them. Or they use satellite imagery and they say, okay, this person has a business license, they have this farm name for their farm, and they're growing crops on their land, and they're using their well water. They can tell all that from satellite images. We talk about that all the time on our farm because it's kind of creepy. Each year you get your satellite images updated of your property, and they start pinpointing where new buildings are. They'll actually send people out sometimes to assess you for more property taxes. At the same time that all of this is going on, the state of California is restricting water due to trout to 2,500 farmers. They're at 15% of their water supply right now. And we've seen this happening over and over and over again, where we're seeing them utilize water rights, water protection, for the public good, and using it to shut down farms across our country. Okay, if you look at the number of farms that we've lost since 2000, it's staggering. We've gone from 2,100,000 farms in 2000 down to 1,859,000 farms at the end of last year. And the scary thing about it is most of those losses, if you look at this on a chart, are within the last 4 or 5 years. And so the speed at which we're losing small farms have increased dramatically. And what have you seen? You've seen a lot of these cases where they've gone in and they've just shut off farms to water rights to an entire valley at a time because of drought. And in this case, they're shutting it off because of trout, not drought, trout, T. And what we're seeing in Oregon is we're seeing them take control over people's wells, putting meters on people's wells, shutting down small farms, shutting down small, what they call CAFOs, but small dairy farms, small goat farms, small chicken farms, however you want to. It includes all of them, right? In the name of protecting the quality of our groundwater. Now, I'm somebody who's all for, protecting groundwater. I think that we cause a lot of environmental degradation. I don't necessarily buy, I don't buy in at all to the global warming CO2 thing, but I do think that there are things that we need to do to protect our environment. And from my experience, most of the farms that I've visited, most of the farmers that I know, take protecting their environment and their land very seriously. I mean, when you look at these small market gardeners, and they're putting water out on their crops, most of them take soil science extremely seriously. And the better your soil science is, it's retaining a lot more of that moisture. So it's not really wasting as much water as one would think. It's not wasting as much water as, say, an industrial farmer who's tilling up, hundreds of acres at a time and then putting sprayers out on them. I mean, these market gardeners don't have to utilize that much water every single day, the way that they manage their soil, the way that they grow their foods. It's actually probably much better. It is better. A small dairy farmer with cows that spend 99% of their time out in the field, or a small chicken farmer whose chickens only go into the coop at night. Or maybe if they have some feed out, they go in there to get some feed, but then they're out frolicking and doing their thing. This could actually, because it leaves it open on the type of animal, it could actually um, apply to rabbit farmers, people who are raising rabbits. And I've seen rabbit setups where they're in areas with concrete floors that make them easy to scrape out. They put hay down for them. They make a very comfortable environment, but they have concrete floors to scrape them out. That would be considered a CAFO, even if they only have 2 or 3 rabbits in that space. You have to ask yourself, at what point in time is the government overreaching their objective in trying to protect the public and just use their rules and their regulations to control the public? At what point in time are they taking away people's resources that they should have the right to have? Everybody should have the right to fresh food. Everybody should have the right to farm fresh food. You know, Oregon is basically taking that right away from every Oregon citizen by taking away the rights of the small farmers to operate their businesses in the name of some laws that were originally put in place to protect groundwater from much larger scale operations. They've just simply reworded things and created their own definition about irrigation being a part of the commercial exemption or not. And in doing so, they're shutting down these small farmers who are the main resource for a lot of people to get, you know, farm fresh, direct to farm produce and meats in the state of Oregon. I would think that this should open up the people's eyes a little bit and maybe help them realize that what these people are doing is not protecting them. It's taking away their rights. It's taking away their access.
Now you see why I am upset. Anytime the government is taking away our rights to feed our families, to help pay for our animals' feed and care, is wrong. Let me go back and get it for you, Katrina. You can watch the whole video that way. That's in case you want to watch the whole video. And when you look at that video, I'll show you a few more of them. No, it's a dumberment getting dumber and dumber. Whether it's local, state, or country. Exactly, dinosaur omelet. You know, I haven't been able to figure that out yet, Xander, because every election I've ever voted for, what I voted for did not get elected. To tell the truth, I don't think your vote really counts anymore. It's money that counts, not votes. Exactly. Exactly, Xander. That's all right. We understand. And they wonder why people like me do what we can, and then we get freeze dryers to make sure that we can stockpile our food. In fact, speaking of freeze dryer, I got food in the freeze dryer right now. Hello, Ed. Excuse me. Well, let me calm down a little bit. Yeah, Xander. The the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence until you walk over there and find out how much it's been dyed. Now, I'll be right back. I need to get a cancer stick to calm down my nerves. Every country has got some flaws. You're welcome, Ken. Yeah, and how much it is really green or just an optical illusion. Yeah, Val, in more ways than one. You don't mean just scat either. Yep. Hello, Susan. Katrina, I checked my bunnies today. They're 12 days old and their eyes are not open yet, but they are bigger than my palm. They're about as big as my whole hand. It takes my whole hand to put one in it. Yeah, so do I. This is to support the kids 18 under 18 contest. And what's buried under all that scat too, because it's sure there's a few bodies buried under it. Yeah. Yeah, mine look like they might not open till Friday. Friday they'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a very apt shirt on tonight's topic and everything. Oh, Andy, I'm so sorry you lost three. That's heartbreaking when you lose them. So that leaves you, so you got 10 alive. That's more than you had last week. So your litter of 3 and your litter of 7 gives you 10. You know, Andy, what surprised me is Mooney had 7 her first litter. Her second litter, she had 8. You know, we can see you. Yes, I know. And right now, it's okay. Because our topic isn't very children friendly, anyhow, at least tonight. Tonight, it's fighting against the dumberment. Thank you, Ed, for looking out for me, though. Neither. It's just a different angle that probably where my desk is. And Saturday, you'll see me in a different place. Oh, that is cool, Andy. Mooney had 7 the first time. She had 8 this time. Have a blessed night, Katrina. Yeah, Nikki, sometimes they like to test you and see if you got it in you. Now, there are a few more along that line. Let me do it again.
Is vitally important to anyone who is a home gardener. And after we talk for a couple of minutes, I want to,
Let's go up here a little bit.
although I don't think I should have been, I probably should have seen this coming, but I had to say something about it because I will always advocate for the backyard gardener. I stayed quiet last year around this time when egg prices were through the roof. There was a worldwide egg shortage, and the powers that be were telling us that keeping our own chickens wasn't as beneficial as you think it is, and downright dangerous, actually. So when I saw a headline just a few days ago that was going down this same path, I felt like I had to put in my 2 cents, whatever it's worth. And this doesn't happen very often. I feel like no matter what side of the climate change argument you're on, and there's probably more than 2 sides, but however you feel about it, if it's a thing, if it isn't a thing, what we can do about it, or there's nothing we can do about it, however you feel about it, number one, you're welcome here. You still belong here. I don't go along with the thinking that you have to agree with somebody to be their friend. I mean, I'm old enough to remember where denier, or this side is just using fear tactics to, you're still welcome here. However you feel about it, there are plenty of corporations that have lined up just to profit on the entire idea of climate change. Politicians who are using it to show that this side is a science denier or this side is just using fear tactics to get ahead. As a simple, lowly home gardener who has been practicing and teaching organic gardening for 2 decades now, and who is trying to every year garden more and more sustainably, it really upsets me when I see headlines like this. Gardening is something that has become a saving grace for so many people, both mentally and physically, including myself. In 2020, when the powers that be told us that we had to stay home, millions flocked to gardening as something to do to pass the time. And fortunately, what good came out of that is a lot of those people, maybe you included, are still here 4 years later, still enjoying gardening. On top of that, now, 4 years later, people are coming still to gardening to offset the rising grocery costs that seem to be, mounting more and more every single month, or people who just don't trust what they can buy in the store. My fear is there will be people who see these headlines who were maybe on the fence, maybe timid a little bit about getting into gardening. And because of a headline like this, they're going to choose not to. That would be so incredibly sad. And for those of you who garden, either for your mental well-being, to put food on the table for your family, I think you would agree. In the short time since this study came out, media outlets all over have jumped on it with the same dire headline. This has just served to multiply its.
There's this link, you guys. There's a lot of people that's about talking about this going on. Yeah, but you guys watch in your area, you don't have the same problem of your government trying to stop you from gardening. Because that's taking away your right to feed yourself and your family and to feed your animals. Like I said, if you got money, you can do anything. If you don't have money, they take more and more of your rights away. And that's what's getting me upset. Does anybody else want to come up here and join tonight? The link's been pinned in the chat room. Yeah, because I'll protect what's mine. That's okay, PJ. We understand. Yeah, but they the barter system is real. And if anybody's smart, they can do the barter system. All you have to do is have common sense. I've got to watch getting my dander up like this today because I'm starting to get those halos that they call them. Yep, exactly, Xander. Food's the easiest thing to barter with, in my opinion. Mostly if you got it and others don't. And that's the whole thing about bartering is you got to have something that others don't have. But in the freeze dryer, I have chili in the freeze dryer. I have pineapple cores to make into chew sticks for the rabbits. And I have something else in there, and I can't remember what it is right now. My mind just went blank. You have more people writing from being uneducated than educated. And you have more people disgruntled at you if you have them in an assembly line life. It's been proven time and time again over history. People aren't learning from history, and it's just going to repeat itself again on a larger scale. Yep, yeah, but when they go hungry, the other stuff ain't going to matter. When they find out that the government's not able to feed them except for that cultivated meat that's made out of human scat, then they might learn. They can be. Yeah, they can come try to take your food. I haven't seen it, but I understand it. So, you guys check your labels. If you have to go buy meat or anything, make sure that it is 100% pure beef and it has no pure natural beef and it doesn't have anything else on it or natural pork or anything like that. Just like most of the vegetables and fruits that are in the supermarkets now are all genetically modified for stronger skins and that so they can last longer on the shelves. They're not there for taste. You got a doozer today on cheese that would blow most people's minds? Ooh, pray tell. 90% of the USA cheeses. Come tell us about it, Dawn. Yeah, not only thinking of how they live, but Also, try beef is the same way. Thou with the beef, those cows never get to touch grass. They take the babies away from them right away and slaughter them, etc. Yeah, 3D printing meat. That's the stuff that's made out of scat. Oh, link it to me on Facebook, Dawn. Please do. Yeah, it's the chicken. There was someone who doesn't eat meat that tried it. I walked away from her channel saying, "Congratulations, you're eating cancer growing food." Yeah, and the way they kill those babies is not very good. If they need more cows, they'll keep the females. But what they do to the males are not good. What is happening to your food chain is really, really bad. Yeah, this we're talking about commercial dairy. Well, see, the standard farmers that we're talking about is different than the commercial farms. Yeah, I know that word. That's not in homesteading communities that way, but not in the commercial one. Good evening, Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer, but that's because you're in the homesteading community. You're not a commercial rancher. I know, and they think chocolate milk comes from a brown cow. Okay. Oh, thank you, cuz. That's the laugh I needed. Okay, I don't see it. Let me see if I can find it. Don, I don't have a message from you. You may be sending it to the wrong Verna Young. It has to be with my picture on it. Wait a minute, I missed something here. No, it's not Verna Young Phoenix anymore. That one's been locked up. It's just Verna Young, and it has my picture on it on my profile. Andy. Oh, cause that's why you want to keep all that cheese for yourself. Mm. Let me see here. Just a second, Dawn. Let me give you this. Okay, Dawn. Here. I'm going to send you the link to my profile. There you go. Oh, okay. This animal rennet has been the predominant type of rennet used in cheese making for centuries and is still commonly used today, also labeled as enzymes. But because this type of rennet is costly and frequently not available at times, cheesemakers have also turned to vegetable rennet. Oh, that's this lame excuse to partner with the lab buddies to pollute what we have for centuries. Derived from plants like thistles, nettle, artichokes, figs, and dried caper leaves. Vegetable rennet is the same coagulatory property as animal rennet, but it also has added being accepted to vegetarians, enabling cheesemakers to make true. You can't make true vegan cheese. Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find this. Well, that didn't come up. Let me try a different way to do it. Okay, you guys, getting ready to show you.
The Gruyere. There's no additives, fillers. You know, that's all animal stuff. And even if you guys don't know, the Gruyere cheese is free from all gluten. Also, the Emmentaler, I don't know, is that how you say that one? The Picurno, the Romano cheese, Parmesan, Gorgonzola, and here's some other one like Grana Padano, Vacherin, Camembert, some different ones. These are ones that are made, the Manchego. You can find a lot of these, and especially you can find Manchego and all these at the stores. You just got to read your labels. And a lot of them, you thought the microbial enzymes were okay, but remember, they're feeding them with soy, and I was freaking out. Now, here's the one.
A lot of you guys, she was freaking out.
A lot of these guys, a lot of you guys like cheddar cheese, right? So there was a company, it's called Tillamook. You can find it in a lot of places and get it in the big block. Generally, you know, we would do that because when you would read before, they made it with animal rennet. Okay, the cheddar that they sold, the white cheddar. And I go and I'm looking at it, and when you're reading it, I can find it. Oh, I don't mean the further.
Did you write it down? No, your list of all the good cheeses places.
I wrote it. I just told them.
I know, but they want to see.
Oh,
it.
you can't see it. You're not going to read it.
Chicken.
You can't even read that. You'll never read it in a million years.
She won't even let me try to let.
I'll go over. You won't even be able to see it. So the Tillamook, all those, they had a whole list of the cheddar cheeses, the sharp cheddar, and they were all used animal rennet. And just recently they changed them all so that they're totally all vegetarian.
Definitely Weston Price would have maybe some of this information.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes. So
that's like the best $40 you'll ever find.
Yes. So I was like, oh my gosh. But see, that's the thing. A lot of the stuff that I was doing and friends of mine have been doing and you did your research on, then all of a sudden they changed. Just like many years ago, things would have cane sugar in it and then they change it to high fructose corn syrup.
Right. That's the trick, y'all, because, you know, we're a little bit older, 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s. Well, 30s probably, but 40s. So the food that we ate even coming up at maybe even McDonald's and stuff, they had better ingredients, not as much as chemicals. And then there was a flip in there where they went strictly all chemicals, and they're trying to literally scientifically design and make our food. And that is not what my scriptures, my scriptures do not say, the scientists shall make chemicals and then make you some food for sustenance. My scripture says, I will give you the seed-bearing plant, which man now is making fruit bearing 0 seeds. You see how that is? So I just want you guys to be aware of this stuff, man, and read those labels. That's the main thing.
So let's also look at, you know, a lot of people are having allergies to cheeses.
The Tillamook isn't bad, right? The Tillamook's okay.
No, it is now. It is.
It is bad now.
It's all made with.
Dang! Don't watch our show if you don't want to have a bubble bust.
Well, it's made now. They've changed it into the microbial. So I haven't. You can go and you can find here. Let me see what
We're saying enzymes are good, but not those enzymes, like they're chemically
but
made.
no, it depends, because if it just says enzymes on it, I'm just going to say generally the majority of the time, if it just says enzymes on your cheese, it's made with animal rennet,
and that's good.
But check whatever brand you have, just check to be sure. But what I was researching, it did say enzymes.
The Father gave you the rennet naturally. That's just the fact. So you get it from the animal, and if you get it outside of that, they start adding the chemicals together for you, so you can have it outside of the natural. Don't you guys see everything against the natural right now? I mean, right before our very eyes. It's really something else.
Here's what Tillamook says. The rennet is used, and it tells what it does is coagulates the milk. Here's all the things it did: the medium sharp, the reserve, blah blah blah. It's going the mozzarella. It's going through all the different cheeses that they're talking about on their site, and then it says that we have recently transitioned to exclusively use the fermentation produced vegetarian friendly rennet. The fermentation. So I think that's the one that you're talking about, which is the genetically modified one from Pfizer. Please note that while we've already begun making our aged white cheddars with the veggie-friendly rennet, these cheeses are naturally aged anywhere from 60 days to 3 years. So all those Tillamook cheeses are using that yucky stuff now. So no more Tillamook for me.
So everything, you have to really be careful and watch your ingredients list. And if you don't know what something is, look it up on Google. Yeah, Doug and Stacy do get a bit intense. That's why I take them in small doses when I do. I don't belong to their channel anymore. Hello, CB. Even if you can pronounce some of it you shouldn't take either. Yeah, in other words, not only if you can't pronounce it, but if you don't know what it is, don't eat it. ACB, did you get any eggs yet? Hello, drunken chef. We're talking controversial things that are happening to the people right now. No eggs, got 30% protein found. Okay. That's okay, chef. Well, between the state of Washington trying to make small small homesteads into cappers where you can't use water, on up to engineered food. Yes, CB, how old are your babies now? Your birds? Yep, that it is. That it is. 6 weeks, she thinks. Okay, anytime now you can have eggs. What state is he in? Yeah, another week or two, you'll be drowning in eggs. Oh, your baby chickens are going into their coop permanently. Great. Okay, Connecticut is Joe Lieberman. Well, I have chili, pineapple cores, and I can't remember what the last tray is. Hmm. I have to look in my freeze dryer, see what it is. Oh, ham. That's right. Diced up ham. That's what I couldn't remember. I got it diced up so you can break it up either in ham salad or use it in cooking ham and beans. Oh, you're dehydrating? I do the freeze dryer. That's what I meant. That's what I got in the freeze dryer. Is chili, pineapple cores for the rabbits to chew on, and ham. I got another ham in the freezer to freeze to cook up and then freeze dry. Buster says he's doing freeze dried candy for Easter for all the kids. Yeah, that's fun. And even do freeze dried marshmallows, Buster. That'll go over big. Mostly if you get the flavored ones I got during Easter, the jet puff marshmallow eggs. There's this. No, that's next on the list, David. I got to process some rabbits and when I cook that big ham, you're gonna have that and the some rabbit going through the processor. I mean the meat grinder. There you go, Buster. Coat marshmallows in a light syrup and coat in jello powder. I found an ice cream that you can make. You just all you need is whipping cream, sweetened condensed milk, and jello powder. And you can make your fruit flavored jellos and I mean ice cream and freeze dry it. Now I need to get some more coffee and stuff right now because my cup, even though I got my biggest cup, it's empty. Didn't even have enough for a sip. Let me see. Oh, she got some hollyhock bulbs today and didn't know how much luck with seeds. Gonna try to do a tincture. Good. And BJ needs her decaf now too. Get to the UK. They're I haven't tried jelly beans, David. The thing about jelly beans, all their flavor is in their candy coating. Val said she brought ground rabbit meat for her dogs once. They obviously ground the bones with it as their poop was white. LOL. Oh, I don't have time for that, PJ. Well, that is great, who CB. And there's Jeremy and Cheryl. How are you doing tonight? And good luck on your sourdough starter. Because that doesn't rate an answer. Now, what was that movie I was watching earlier tonight? Hold on a second, and I'll tell you. If I can find it. Oh, I had to look for it. Hop. And that was good. It's about the Easter Bunny, and he pooped jelly beans. Hey, Steve and Tina. Good seeing you. CB, that's funny. Yeah, you got that right, Val. Got to feed them and water them. Now, anybody wants to come up and talk about their homestead, I pinned the link and you're welcome to come up. I still have to make some jello and try to freeze dry that and see how it turns out. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I just saw something. Okay, there it is. Yeah, 5 gallon bucket of rabbit poo, rabbit scat. That's because it's cold fertilizer. You don't have to worry about it burning it. No, just to have a 5 gallon bucket ready. Didn't say it had to be with rabbit poo. I wonder what kind of seeds you have to grow in a 5 gallon bucket. Probably mint so it doesn't spread all over the place. Though I have to out front and I should scoop up the rabbit poo the neighbor's rabbits got out. It's been too cold at night here for me to plant when I want to plant outside, and the weather's been pretty bad. Well, let's see what the next planting days are according to the moon. Okay. Goat poop is cold too. It looks like rabbit poo. Now, see, April is great for planting beets, carrots, turnips, radishes, and onions and other root crops. So that's what I'm going to do to the first and second. The third and fourth is good for killing breeds, but no planting. You can good for harvesting. Then you got the fifth and sixth for planting vine crops and transplanting. It's also good for root crops. Horse, cow, pig, and chickens are cold poo. I mean, it's a hot poo. Yes, goat poop is as well as llama poop. Yeah, all those are hot fertilizers. And quail. Xander, you can't put quail because quail's right up there with chicken. But all those that you mentioned, you can put on your garden in November so to be ready for spring planting. No, I wouldn't do that, David. Not unless you've had it unless you've had the quail poo composting for a while. But you can take like quail poo or chicken poo and make a tea out of it, and that'll be safe for your gardens. You cover the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket with quail or rabbit poo, then fill it the rest of the way with water, put the lid on it, let it set for 24 hours. Then you can use it as a tea to water your garden with. Yep. Yeah, that's why you can also direct your washer hose to your garden for water too. Exactly, Steve. It goes into the soil, not on the plants. It's all recycle and reuse, Andy. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Val. Exactly, Andy. You must have a lot of comfrey, Val. That is great. How much comfrey do you put into that oil-sized drum? Okay, you fill an onion sack full of it and let it dangle on the water. Is that about a 55-gallon, Val? You have a blessed day, David. And thank you very much for coming. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out. Now, Dawn, you have. Oh, okay, you did it already. Okay. There we go. Oh, a 20-pound bag of onions. That's a lot of comfrey. Yeah, we don't see 20-pound bags of onions around here. Welcome back, cuz. I'm sure they do. Now, I know another plant that all the animals love, Val, and that is yarrow. And you give yarrow to quail, and it makes their yolk so bright. I had to get something. Yeah, I've got my yarrow's coming up again. Yep. My problem is getting it where it's enough of it for me to be bending over to pick. Another thing that's coming out a lot is dead nettle. This time of year to get that dead nettle, and the rabbits love it. The rabbits love it. The quail love it. Just a second, and I'll show you a picture of dead nettle. Okay, David, here you go. I'll show you. This picture right here, and this picture right here. This one here mostly is how you recognize it. And right now is when you can see it real easy. Let me see. Dead nettle is the only nettle doesn't sting you. The leaves and flowers can be eaten sparingly in salads or as a garnish or cooked in soups, stir fry, etc. It is quite pubescent, obtusely worded for hairy. So I like to mix it with other greens or cook it to mask its texture. The plants make hairs for many reasons. One of the primary one is being to deter herbivores. And Andy hates that stuff. But your rabbits will love it, Andy. Amen. And I don't like bullies. Okay, let me double check that for you, Val. Let me try to get it in here. Now I'm going to have to get the shortened link for it because the link's too long. Here's the Yarrow link. Yeah, I fed it to my quail too. Okay, just a second. Now look for it again. We'll watch this one for a few minutes.
Lamium purpureum, dead nettle, purple archangel, or purple dead nettle. This has sprung up in my
I'm sure
daughter's
you
garden
can make
box.
kind of like a
She's
hay
not very
plot.
happy about it, but I sure am. This is a plant that, for whatever reason, I don't see a lot of, depending on where I'm going. And this is a plant yet that is so incredibly common throughout Europe, Northern Africa, the UK, and here in Canada and the United States. Very few plants are hardy enough to emerge in April, but this is one of them. And I guess in a way you could almost consider this purple dead nettle to be a harbinger of spring. Let's see here. Okay. Purple dead nettle takes advantage of open expanses of soil because it has virtually no competition. Let's see, we got maybe Creeping Charlie's coming in over there. A little bit of dandelion, but that's okay. As you can see, though, no competition. So it certainly has decided to take root here. Okay, so this plant is a member of the mint family, and it forms ground cover mats, as you can see, like that. Now the leaves, let's see, they kind of resemble those in the nettle family, but of course it's not a nettle, therefore earning its name.
I'll take pictures of the dead nettle around here and let everybody see it. Hey, Tuber Chad, how you doing, Kevin? Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate you. Well, I think we'll be cutting off at the hour mark, you guys. Yeah, Chef didn't hang around very long. Usually, if he has time, he'll pop up, but I have the link in there and he didn't pop up, so he just dropped in and give support. Tuber Chat, Kevin, you're welcome to come up if you want. Yeah, my link's still pinned up there. Well, Xander, type exclamation point and the word quail, and it'll drop your link so others can join it. Alrighty, Kevin. That's great, Val. Hopefully they can send you some. My pleasure. So you guys check Xander out, Dark Lord Manette. And Steve gave you a shout out too. Thanks, cuz. Now, right now, if you guys got a Kroger's near you, they have Cook's ham on sale for 89 cents a pound. And that's when I bought 2 hams. And that's why they're going through the freeze dryer after I cook them. Well, pigs will eat anything, including humans. Pray tell, what were they feeding the pigs, Don, that you found that grossed you out? And what company was feeding them? Yeah, but we're talking about the big commercial style pigs. Cooney coonies are a smaller pig. Yeah, Val, it is getting pretty scary. And see, with my allergies, I had to be really careful. Vern, I can't remember. It was so bad I quit all pork. Then hubby gradually got pork steaks in here. The store ham has all the nitrates and stuff added to it. Yeah. Same with bacon and any other smoked meats. Unless you buy a fresh shoulder and smoke it yourself. Exactly, Andy. Yeah, if you smoke it yourself, you don't need the nitrates. Yep, pigs turn everything into bacon. I know that feeling, TM. Yeah, 'cause they'll even eat the stuff that worms won't eat. I understand that, Val. But maybe it'd be better this summer, once the summer's over with. With me, I not only have to worry about what they put in that food, I have to worry about MSG, which they put in everything. Because MSG can kill me in a matter of minutes. Yeah, I hear you there, David. But you know, you can get poor man's lobster. You could probably raise, and that's crawfish or crawdaddies. The thing about the lobsters that you get at the grocery store, they've been on starving since they've been caught. Yeah, Xander, lobster used to be a poor man's food, but now it's a rich man's food because it's not as available as it used to be. Smart move, Andy. Yeah, I think we all are now. You guys heard how big the two different lotteries, the mega bucks and all that are? They're quite high now. Understand that feeling, Xander. What makes me so sad is those people that do win the Mega Millions. Oh, they did? There's somebody that wins the Mega Millions and within a couple years they're broke again. That's what's sad because people don't have common sense on how to do things. Well, 5 minute countdown, people. $1.13 billion. If you can't reach him, Andy, it's probably because he was the one in New Jersey. On a lot of them, Dawn, you can take the cut price to where you get like 2/3 of it. Yeah, and that's not counting the interest they get for keeping it in their bank. Oh, so it's only less than half of it. You have a blessed night, Val. Three-minute warning, people. Yeah, I would take the lump sum payment myself because my luck, 5 years later, they go out of business and I don't get no money. It's only 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Everyone have a blessed night. And I'll see you Thursday at Slightly Redneck. You guys have a blessed night and take care.